Hello, hi, welcome. That was a dramatic moment, and every week I do a different dramatic moment because that's my challenge. Why not? I don't know. Let's see how many different moments I can find to say hello. We will see that after some time, I guess. So yeah, hello, hi, welcome. I hope you're good. I hope you had a great week. My week was okay. Today was exhausting. Actually, I'm very tired. But I don't have any other time to record a video. So today we're recording a video right now. And after I'm done recording, I'm just going to sleep because that's how tired I am. And I'm busy tomorrow as well. I've got a lot to do again. So yeah, wish me luck. Yeah, thanks. So, I hope you're good. I hope you've been good. I hope your week has been great. I hope you took care of yourself because I asked you to. Please don't. I will be upset. Please don't upset me. Please take care of yourself. So yeah, this week, in this video, I want to talk about something weird it's not weird, something quite deep that I realized today. So, today, if you remember from last week, I've attended a congress. I was planning to make a little speech. The speech was not accepted. They accepted my presentation as a poster. So I'm presenting a poster, which I'm not really doing. It's there on a computer, and if someone wants to see it, they open the poster from then they see it on the weird screen that they have there. Anyways, so yeah, for me it's just sitting there and listening to people, and none of my other friends are with me, so I'm just alone watching people socialize. I used to have social anxiety, so it's a little triggering for me. But anyways, we're going with it. The lectures the speeches were actually quite inspiring. I quite enjoyed the lectures actually, but the breaks were a little nerve-wracking, to say the least, because I didn't know what to do with myself because everyone was socializing and talking with each other. And after this, I will get into my topic. And in one break, like I just got out of the room. What is it? Auditorium. I just got out of it, and everyone's there, like in the foyer area or something like that. And I walked, and as I walk, I try to make eye contact with people to see if they would want to have a conversation with me. And this boy makes eye contact with me, and I think, oh, he wants to talk. Maybe we can have a chat. Then I realize that he is actually a student from the medical school that's organizing the congress. And then we talked because he had something to say about environmental anxiety or something like that, and we talked about it. It wasn't the interaction that I was hoping for, but at least I had a little interaction. I just didn't sit there in silence and eat stuff. That was not just that. The day was not just comprised of me sitting in silence, eating the snacks they bring out. Luckily, thankfully. So yeah, the thing that I want to talk about is actually from one of the speeches. It's not from one of the speakers affected me in a negative way. when I was listening to his speech, I got really annoyed because he was very negative and talking about the modern world in a very negative way. I understand that the current status of the world is not very hopeful, but the things he was talking about were not the things that we should be worried about. He was talking about things like, oh, the plants we're making are not organic anymore. We're not eating the things we used to eat. The earth is ruined, and we used to be so kind to each other, and the new generation is not like that. And I was like, were you kind to each other, really? He was a boomer. I think you could have guessed that. And I have parents that are boomers, and I was like, you're not really kind. I mean, I don't want to start a generational war, but in my experience, boomers were rarely kind to my generation. They are always criticizing us for some reason. I was born in 1998, so they never liked us, and now they're saying like they're kind, but I don't know. So yeah. And then when I was listening to him, I started to think about the current philosophical or ideological landscape of our modern world, because why wouldn't I? Because I can't overthink everything. Why don't I overthink about that as well? So I did, and it was interesting to think about that, because what I thought was that in this current age, I feel like people are divided into two sections. One section is very pessimistic. I feel like there were pessimistic people all along history. Like, that's not new. What they're saying is not new either, probably. But what this group says usually is only things like, oh yeah, the world has changed so much and it's not like old times anymore, and we cannot do things what we used to do, and we are unhealthy because the foods are changed. We modified the foods, and everyone wants to do something to our country, which is, I feel like, the same everywhere. Like every boomer from every country says this, I feel like. And I find that weird, actually, because I feel like that's not the problem. And on the other side, maybe there are more than two groups in this dialogue, but I feel like there are two main groups, that one is pessimistic and the other one is, in my opinion, I feel like I'm in this group, and I'm going to define that group as being realistic, but that's up to debate. I don't know. I think I'm going to be biased a little bit on this topic. But for me, the realists, the side that is made up of the realist people, in my opinion, usually say like, yeah, there are bad things going on, and some things are not reversible anymore. Like, on some topics, we passed the turning points, but there are things we can do, there are things we should do to make good change, because this group is not afraid of change, but the other one is. And I feel like that's a problem, because I don't know, I feel like I should accept change. And this group, the realist one, usually says like, yeah, we should do things, we should do this, we should make a plan. This is our plan. We can have a conversation about it. But the plan should be based on these principles so that we can reach this goal, which is why I think that group is more realistic than the other one. The other group, in my opinion, I don't know, is a little dysfunctional for me. At least if I was to compare myself to that person who was talking today. But I feel like I'm not alone and he is not alone, so we can have two groups. And I feel like there are enough people like us, like me and him, that we can say that these two would be two groups, not just two individuals. And yeah, then I started to think about what future generations would think about these conversations from their point of view, which was interesting. I don't know. I hope they think these conversations were like ridiculous because they feel like that. They think these conversations are ridiculous in a way that they surpassed these conversations. They're in a better place. They figured some things out so that they can laugh about these things, because right now I don't feel like I can laugh about them. I get quite pissed about them when I hear about it, like when I hear someone talk about like that. So yeah, that was a weird experience, but this is something I quite usually do, which is weird, because as if there is not enough to think about in this current world, I sometimes think about what future generations would think about us. I think that's quite an interesting thought experiment. Because when you think about it, we think past generations are quite ridiculous. And as you go further back, it gets so ridiculous to the point that it's offensive. So yeah. Oh, I don't know if we will ever see the point where this generation gets ridiculous enough to be offensive, even though there are some offensive conversations going on. Oh, by the way, I said two groups. When you think about it, he was actually not that far from me. We were still in the same, like, ideological space. There are some other people. Yeah, I sometimes forget about that. Maybe I'm in my ideological bubble. Yeah, maybe I should think about that as well next time. Maybe I should think less about future generations and more about my ideological bubble. Maybe I shouldn't pop that. I probably wouldn't be able to stand it because it's quite ridiculous. Anyways, so yeah, I got upset a little again. It's upsetting, isn't it? I don't know. I know that disagreements are inevitable, but having disagreements on such topics like human rights and well-being feels ridiculous. I don't know. I don't think we should be here, but we are. Maybe we should accept it and have the conversations we should have and get over this and move on. I don't know if that's possible. I would like to think that it's possible. But if you look at the world right now, you would be, you wouldn't get the impression that it is possible. So yeah, I don't know what we can do. We can talk. Yeah, we can have these discussions. We can have dialogues about these things, hoping that it's going to do something. So yeah, in my opinion, actually, if you put some effort into something, it's going to pay back somehow, even if it's not the way you want it to be. It's going to get somewhere, in my opinion. So maybe we should be open to talk about these things. And actually, when you look at the things that we moved past, there was another lecture today that talked about misogyny, how much we progressed on that topic, even though the point we're at right now doesn't seem quite nice to be at. If you think about it, it used to be very worse even just 25 years ago or 30 years ago. So yeah, we should have conversations about these things. And I'm going to circle back to one of the other videos that I made a couple of weeks ago and say that art is actually quite powerful in this sense as well, because some of the pieces that are coming out, that have come out recently, are dealing with these topics, and they're making quite a lot of they're creating quite a lot of discussions about these topics, which is nice to have so that we can move forward. Even though the discussions feel horrible, terrifying, mortifying, and all of the above, and all of the other things that are incredibly horrific, we should have those conversations as well. As hard as it seems to have those conversations, we should actually really have those conversations so we can move on and get to a better place. And as a species, we have way too much to work, way too much to change, way too much to fix. Maybe not so much fixing, but so much changing. Because if fixing would be bringing it back to its original state, and the state that world used to be in was not that ideal to begin with. So maybe, we should have really so much work about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and etc. And it's kind of weird to talk about this thing, because to me, actually, it looks kind of obvious, it seems kind of obvious, but it needs to be said over and over and over and over and over again, so that it makes some meaningful difference somehow. Why it should make some meaningful difference? Because there are people that are suffering, there are people that are not comfortable, there are people that are hungry and don't know that when they're going to get the chance to have something to eat. There are people that are scared from people that are very close to them. So and these situations are not that far away from us, actually. They are very close to us. There are so much happening, and even if these things are quite far away from us, they're still affecting us in some way. So if you think about, this was a weird video. I don't know if it made sense at all, but here it is. Today I talked about something. It was not something, it was quite important, but I don't know if it made sense. I hope it did. If it did not, I will probably try it again in the future. But for now, this is my first attempt on this topic. The topic being the state of the world, I guess, and how and why we should be worried about it, I suppose. So yeah, thanks for listening to me. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to drop a like. You can leave a comment. You can say anything you want, respectfully. You can subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. If not, that's okay. But I would be really happy if you did, if you gave me a chance. So yeah, take care of yourself. I will see you again next week. Bye for now.